speculated that even the new president may have had a link to the killing.
I heard this myself. There were many people whose immediate reaction was that Lyndon Johnson had something to do with this.
To reassure a shocked nation, and some say to put an end to these rumors, President Johnson launched an investigation, appointing a prestigious commission headed by Chief Justice Earl Warren. Former President Gerald Ford, then a congressman, is the commission's last surviving member and remains its ardent defender.
We said that Lee Harvey Oswald was the assassin. We said that the commission had found no evidence of a conspiracy, foreign or domestic.
Critics say the commission's mandate was not so much to probe the crime as to prove that Oswald acted alone. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover wanted it that way. The thing I am most concerned about, he wrote, is having something issued so we can convince the public that Oswald is the real assassin. With the commission acting as prosecutor, judge, and jury, Oswald was presented as the lone assassin. The crime was solved.
There was an unwillingness to believe, first of all, that it had happened, and then that it could have been anything but the act of one deranged man, untypical of the wholesome society that produced him, which is why I think the Warren Commission findings fell on very receptive ears and fitted an emotional and psychological matrix that we all had prepared, and I include myself in that.
Though touted as open and unbiased, most commission hearings were held in secret, with the FBI framing the issues. Former Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill says Kennedy aides Ken O'Donnell and Dave Powers told him the FBI persuaded them to change their eyewitness testimony, which placed the fatal shot as coming from the grassy knoll.
I said, I can't understand it. I said, I've looked over the Warren report. I read your testimony in the Warren report, both of you. Both of you said that no question that Oswald is the one that shot Jack, that the bullet came from up there. Well, they said the reason we testified that way, said Kenny, is that the FBI came to us and said, let's get this behind us. You're wrong. There had been an echo. That was an echo you heard. Both you and Dave are wrong in this. The family would like to get the thing behind it. There's no question that was only one shot. And he said, I went along with the FBI, and they said exactly what the FBI wanted us to say, and Dave said exactly the same thing as Ken.
The commission's 26 volumes of testimony were incomplete. Many witnesses were never called. Questions regarding medical evidence, including the autopsy performed on President Kennedy, were ignored. CIA and FBI files never subpoenaed.
We were concerned about what Mr. Hoover was doing. We were concerned about what the CIA was doing. And I believe that even though we did not get the information we should have in some particulars, that we found the correct conclusions.
Allen Dulles, fired by Kennedy as CIA director, was a key commissioner and the strongest advocate of its theory that Oswald acted alone. He kept silent about covert CIA activities that might have had a bearing on the case. While the CIA had its advocate, the FBI also received special treatment. Documents show that Gerald Ford was secretly relaying commission research to the Bureau. Ford has now added his voice to the chorus attacking Oliver Stone's JFK. He declined to be interviewed for this program. The Warren Report's most disputed conclusion was advanced by then staffer and now Senator Arlen Specter, seen here interrogating Anita Hill during recent Supreme Court confirmation hearings.
I think we found the real facts, and certainly no one in the intervening 25 years has disproved our basic conclusions.
It was Specter who came up with the so-called magic bullet theory, which tracks one bullet going through both Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally. The bullet was later discovered virtually intact on Connally's hospital stretcher. JFK dramatizes questions about the number of shots and the speed with which the commission says Oswald fired them.
FBI tried 2 sets of tests. Not one of their sharpshooters could match Oswald's performance. Not one. And Oswald was at best a medium shot. The scope was defective on it too. I mean, this is the whole essence of the case to me. The guy couldn't do the shooting.
No, I have not been charged with
Nobody
that. In
could.
fact, nobody
And they
said
sold
that.
this lemon to the American public.
The Warren Commission could not have sold its conclusions unless the mass media was prepared to buy them.
The Warren Commission report was released. The media jumped all over it as the final word in the controversy, and before the evidence was even available.
Advertising executive Jerry Polikoff has published several articles on the media coverage of the assassination.
I do think that the media sees itself as something of a protector of our basic institutions. I think the media is frightened by the prospect of the American people questioning those institutions, including the institution of the press.
In fact, New York Times columnist Tom Wicker criticizes JFK on precisely these grounds, that it weakens respect for American institutions. Like many other reporters, he rejects any suggestion of a media cover-up.
If I understand what you mean by